What's up, everybody? It's your main man, Segun. Wired in with Segun with my beautiful co-host, Nora Moore. We are coming to you from a brand new location, and we have got Claudine Cooper, superwoman, author of 25 to Life, wife, mother, trainer, curly-haired hot chick.
I'll take it.
So many more things. So you are wired in. Talk to me. What's going on? How are you doing?
Well, now that I'm sitting here with two beautiful people, I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
I'm good, Nora.
I'm so excited that you have joined us because we have been social media friends, but we've never met in person. So it's great to finally meet you.
You know, there aren't many people that I friend that I don't know personally, just because I'm kind of nervous about the crazy people in the world.
Of course.
But when I saw you, I immediately was like, you know what?
We should be friends.
Well, I read your blog, and I was like, I think Nora is like my friend in my head. So
I feel like that about Mariah Carey.
You do. That's your actual bestie. That's different. But do you remember when I sent you that message and I was like, I'm thinking about blogging? That was like almost 8 years ago.
And look, you've blogged and you've written a book, and you're
Yes.
here to talk about
Yes.
25 to Life with us.
But before I talk about that, I want to talk about Shagun.
Why? What are we talking about? Why are we talking about me?
So
What are we doing?
I am so honored to be in your presence.
What?
And I'm going to tell you why.
Uh-oh.
Nora uploaded a video of you on daytime TV where you were turned up
Oh.
on 10. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Full on Shagun.
Access Hollywood, the Baltimore riots.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Yes, I swear I was sitting there watching it, and I felt like an old lady in church. I started fanning myself. I was like, preach, tell them what it is. So I loved that.
Thank you so
yes,
much.
Uh-huh.
Every so often, you get on TV and you get an opportunity to actually say something honest and share your honest opinion. And on daytime television for Access Hollywood Live, which is, we talk a lot of fluff and we talk about a lot of celebrity stuff, but we have in the Plugged In segment dealt with some heavier hitting topics. And it was just, I don't know, it's like I got hit by the Holy Ghost.
You
and
did.
I was like, but what fascinates me, because Nora and I have been doing Wired In for quite some time. And when someone writes a book, it's, I always think of it like, okay, it's giving birth. You're like creating something.
Sure.
So 25 to Life, how does that come about? How do you, first, the discipline to sit down and write, and then the subject matter?
So you know how sometimes you get pregnant accidentally?
I don't.
Maybe you don't. But
Yeah, I know. I thought that's what stairs were for.
Oh.
See,
that was bad. But anyways, I had always had a desire to write a book. I've been journaling since I was a child, and I said someday I'm going to take these journals and I'm going to literally share my authentic self, just like you did on daytime TV. I mean, you went up there, and I know it wasn't planned because there was so much passion in your heart that you let it go.
Right.
And so with this book, I really wasn't ready to write a book. My son was still like home for a lot of the day, and I didn't want to spend time, kind of dissing my kids so that I could write a book. But I was pregnant with it. And I couldn't, I was like, I had
Women
the
get
concept.
really creative when we're pregnant. That's actually when I started writing.
Well, I was pregnant with the concept. I wasn't actually
Oh,
pregnant.
okay.
Right, because I'm not getting pregnant anymore.
Forget
Let's
everything
be
that
clear.
Nora just said.
Yeah, I am
We
not
edit that out.
pregnant, and I'm not getting pregnant anytime soon. So, but the concept was in my head, and how I wanted to formulate it was already in there, and I could have put it off, but I felt like I would be like ignoring something that was inside of me.
What made you think that anybody wanted to hear what was in your head?
That is a very good. Why would someone want to hear what I have to say, right?
I wonder that every time. Thankfully, you do, because we're here. But I wonder that all the time. Why does anyone want to hear what's in our heads?
I mean, me personally, I'm nosy, and I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what Nora has to say. But people do actually care what I have to say, believe it or not. So I've been teaching fitness classes for almost 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I would never have known you were in shape. I would have just completely just been like, she's got to live on fried donuts and Twinkies.
As she flexes her perfect
I
bicep.
know. Yeah. She's just like, it's just not even my fault. I'm just so cut up.
I
Get
woke
me
up like
offended.
this.
Well, let's be clear though. There is a portion of all this that is genetic.
Okay.
So let's just be real about that.
And by genetic, she means surgery.
We are in LA.
Don't play, because you know we're in LA. And I need to be clear that I have had no plastic surgery. That's why you see wrinkles, and that's why I don't have any boobs, because I have had no surgery.
Okay.
So actually, I pride myself on being 100% natural. That's one of my talking points. But anyway, so people have been following my classes for years, and I've noticed that my demographic is a lot of young people. And young people are kind of venturing into their journey of life and trying to make a way for themselves and really try to accomplish their goals, right? Whether it's education, whether it's career goals, but most people who come to see me trust my opinion on their fitness goals, right?
Okay.
Oh, Claudine, how do I get a six-pack? How do I get a better butt? And what my book is kind of an answer to that question.
To get a better butt?
Yep.
You don't just tell them to eat ham hocks and gravy and collard greens and
Jiffy
cornbread.
cornbread.
And,
That's my secret.
you know what I'm saying? Do some squats, wear some pumps, change your name to Shaniqua. We don't do that.
Did you hear me say genetics?
Yes.
You hear me say genetics? Okay.
Okay, but that's a big thing though, because
yes.
it brings on something I want to touch on.
Okay.
Genetically, you talk about there are some women and men who are predisposed to having better genetics. Like I'm Nigerian, so
Okay.
I'm 6'3". There's some stuff that's in my genetics that I can't hide.
Right.
But for a woman, they'll show magazine pictures of these women with perfect bodies and make other women feel horrible, not realizing that it doesn't matter how much you work hard or sweat, you may never get that kind of ass.
Sure.
You may never get those breasts. You may never get that stomach. How do you deal with women who are caught up in, I want to look this way, but genetically they'll never cross over?
So you asked me, why does anybody want to hear what I have to say? And one of the things I pride myself on is that I keep it real. So the people who ask me how to get a better butt or how to get a six-pack, I tell them flat out, love your body. Look at your parents. Look at your genetic past. Does it line up with how you look right now? I can look at my parents and I can tell you where I got just about everything on my body, right? And part of the book is talking about self-acceptance, confidence, building up the things inside so that you're less inclined to look at that perfect airbrushed person in the magazine and want that. Just want what's best for you.
In a city like LA, though, that's got to be a difficult concept because this is the land of a facade. This is the land where it's make-believe, it's Hollywood, it's flashing lights, it's red carpet, it's everything surface, and the interior is something that you hide and you keep away that nobody is supposed to know. As long as you look good on the outside, that's all that matters. Juice boxes or juiceries on every corner, fitness and CrossFit on every corner. Mm-hmm. How do you get your voice heard over all of the noise, all of the facade, all of the flashing lights and the paparazzi of look this way when you're preaching feel this way?
Mm-hmm. Okay. You coach, right?
I do.
Okay. So I look at myself more of a coach, less of a I can sculpt your body. I do have some awesome moves, I must admit. People do like my classes for that. But I'm telling my team, of young people, we are going to ignore the flashing lights. We're going to ignore the red carpet. We're going to focus on just this, ourselves, because you can't force somebody to not subscribe to the mainstream media, beauty image or whatever. It's there. But what you can do is you can control your intake. You eat, right? Are you in control of what you eat? Or is someone forcing you to eat something?
Depends on what they made. If it's bread pudding and ice cream, I have no control.
Out of control.
I have no control.
You're out of control.
I have no control.
And some people would tell you when the Kardashians come on TV, they have no control. They watch it. They can't help it. It's on there. They're sucked in and they watch it. But what I say is you are always in control. It's mental. You can control it if you want to.
Self-discipline.
Claudine, what I like about your book is it's broken down into 25 small little chapters, and each chapter has a really personal story, and you introduce a concept in each chapter. One of my favorites was Be Unapologetic, where you talk about Crackhead Leah.
Yes.
I think we all know a Crackhead Leah. I do.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know that everyone knows a crackhead.
Well, for our viewers and our listeners, let's define Crackhead Leah.
Tell us about Crackhead Leah.
Okay, well, without giving all the good, juicy stuff away from the book, I do take colorful stories from my past and I put them in a chapter, and then I tie it into a life lesson that can be used for your fitness journey and for your good health. So I realized early on by running around with my dad and going to crack houses that you could make a decision to smoke crack. It's as simple as that. Just like you can make a decision to be unhealthy, to work out or to not work out, to eat bad or to not eat bad. So once I was introduced to what a crackhead looks like, I then made a decision to make that not be my life.
Now, we're going to have to dig deep into, you just said when I was running around with my dad going to crack houses, we just can't let that just lay on the table. I remember,
pick it up then, Shagun, pick it up then.
Was that take daughter to work day?
It was.
Okay,
it was.
So your dad drug dealer?
Yes.
Big time drug dealer.
It depends. We were probably clearing.
Nino Brown from New Jack City?
You would say clearing in the 10,000 a week category.
And this was in Minneapolis.
In Minneapolis, yes.
Oh, in the land of Prince and Apollonia and the Timberwolves? I'm in the wrong line of business. Shoot. Fine. Let me find out. This was back in the early 90s.
It was, though. You're right on track. It was about late 80s, early 90s. The crack epidemic was real in Minneapolis. And I don't know if you remember Ice Cube's song. He said, "Now I got my ass in Minnesota."
Yeah.
Okay, so Minnesota was a halfway point. There was a lot of drug trafficking happening. From the West Coast to the East Coast, you come to the middle, and there was a lot of drug abuse. You just said land of Prince. People in Minneapolis love music, nightlife. I mean, people think it's,
it's
kind of
freezing. They just think it's cold, and you're just going to stay indoors.
But no. There's a lot going on. It's a major metropolitan area, like any big million-person city.
So how are you running around with your dad, seeing this? Mm-hmm. Experiencing it, seeing the vacant look of a crackhead, the living dead, zombies,
Straight zombies.
How does that not touch you, or how do you not go down the wrong path?
Well, that's in the book.
Okay.
I definitely touch on how you can make a decision to go left or you can make a decision to go right. And for me personally, which is a character thing, I didn't want to go left. I didn't want that life. I didn't want to be a zombie. I didn't want to walk around vacant. But most of all, I didn't want to try to defile myself for the sake of chasing this high.
Got you. That's deep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's deep. Now, are you still close with your dad?
Oh,
family?
we're very close. Right. Okay. My whole family's really close. They're all in Minneapolis still.
Is he still in the game?
He's no longer
in the game.
But that's in the book too.
Okay.
He taps out of the game, and he devotes his life to God, and he's definitely a changed man.
And how does the family feel about the book 25 to Life?
Well, that's a good question, Nora, because it didn't land on everybody.
I was wondering, because there's a lot of family business in this book.
Talking about your dad selling crack, Pops is not going to be like, "No, girl, tell him all about that."
No, well, actually, surprisingly, my dad was the most supportive, because I had a major, massive 40th birthday party. Nora knows.
You're 40?
I am 40.
Wow. Please tell me whatever it is that you're drinking or eating.
It's the workout. Read the book.
Well, I got you. 'Cause, I mean, in my early 20s, I'm trying to stave off the aging process. So
is that what you are? You're in your early 20s, eh?
I mean, that's what I play.
Everyone in LA is in their early 20s,
Black
right?
don't crack. You look like you could be in your early 20s.
God bless you for that. Hallelujah. Okay.
So on my birthday, my dad came to visit, and I told him that I had written this book and I wanted him to read the portion about him. And if he didn't like it, or if he felt in any way that this was defaming his character, please tell me. I will scrap this whole book in honor of our relationship. I love you that much. He read it. He said, "Nobody can hurt you with the truth."
Wow. He's daddy.
Yep. And he said, "I am more proud of you for being able to stand in our truth than I would be if you were trying to live this life as a lie."
Oh.
Well, I want to know how Dad felt about chapter 2, Be Honest. The first sentence, sex is like a chocolate chip cookie. Once you have it, you will always want more. My dad would have been like, oh.
So my parents only separated in age from me by 20 years. So we are close like friends. So my parents aren't affected by talks about sex or, whatever may be uncomfortable for most parent-child relationships are not uncomfortable for us.
Now, would you want, you're a mom of 3. How much about what you share in the book do you share with your children?
That's a good question too. I feel like my children will benefit from the knowledge in this book. We're all going to bump our heads, right? We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to have experiences like this, and I expect that my children will too. But if I try to sit on my pedestal and act like, oh, I never did anything. Actually, you can't do anything either. And I'm going to keep you up here in this ivory tower, and I expect that you will never bump your head.
Living in the bubble.
That's not going to work. So from day one, I took one of the approaches that my father used, and I started talking honestly to my children about anything they wanted to talk about. And even this morning, we had a little issue. My oldest daughter talked about a bully at school. And, what is she supposed to do about this person bullying her, right?
Slap that girl.
It's a boy.
Punch that dude.
It's a boy.
Kick him knee him in the groin.
He likes her. He must like her. That's what boys do.
And so that's what I said. I said, if you show him that you are affected by the bullying, he's going to keep going for you, right? But if you act unaffected, then he'll just lose interest. Trust me on this. And she said, I can't help but be affected. Wow. Like I said, she's going to bump her head in her own way. She's going to learn how to forge her own path. I don't mind sharing mine with them.
How did your husband feel about this part of your life, your life in general, your family life, everything about you? Basically, when we do this kind of stuff, we do it because that's the choices that we have made, but it affects those people close to us. How did your husband feel about this?
So my husband was more worried about how I would feel if I was received with judgment. So his thing was, well, there are some people who are going to read this and they're going to think of you differently. Are you okay with that? Bless you.
Thank you. That mid-20s thing went out the window as my old ass is suffering from allergies. I'm just telling you.
The allergies are off the chain right now, by the way. But anyways, I told him, I fear the judgment of no man. I will say what I want to say. I will be who I want to be. And if you're okay with me putting this in a book, then we're okay.
Well, that leads us to chapter 24. I'm all into your book.
Like, that leads us to chapter 24.
Because that is incredibly supportive, and your husband sounds amazing. Because you talk about ex-boyfriends, you talk about having sex growing up, you talk about going to the parties and the bad boys. And,
that might not have washed over with me. I'm not. Don't have any illusions that who I'm with is a virgin, but I do not need to know rote and verse everything that you've done.
I did try to keep rote and verse out, didn't I, Nora?
Yes, you did.
I did.
Okay.
But chapter 24, I really love the first sentence. It really struck a chord with me as a mom and just as a woman. And it says, every wife needs a wife. Can you elaborate?
Because I have a thing where, every man needs 2 girlfriends. That might be something different. Y'all might have a different idea. My girlfriend's got a girlfriend. I think I heard a rapper say that. Just want to make sure we're on the same page.
We're on the same page.
Okay, cool. All right.
I love Will and Jada. That's one of my favorite couples, right? So I know Mariah Carey's your best friend in your head, right?
BFF.
So you know who my best friend is in my head, right?
Who's
Jada?
Oh, Jada Pinkett.
So Jada is like my best friend, my confidant. We talk in my head, right? So she was interviewed once, and somebody asked her, because there's a lot of rumors that her and her husband have an open marriage, right? And somebody asked her about it, and she said, we don't have an open marriage. We have a grown marriage. So, in other words, marriage can be defined by you, by what you need, and by what works for you. So for us, I've always had a woman very close to me throughout our marriage who's with me all the time, who helps me out with my kids because my family's not here. So she's like my right-hand girl. She's like my wife. Right? Now, we're going to leave it right there. Chill out, sugar.
I'm just,
chill out, homie.
As my eyes are getting big as saucers, I'm like, okay, because, I've got my boys, but I'm not like, hey, yo, man, that's like my husband. Like, every husband needs a husband. Slow down.
Romance.
You know what I'm
New
saying?
meaning to romance.
Romance. But you do know that there's a double standard as far as that's
Oh,
concerned,
absolutely.
though. Like, women can love each other on this whole affectionate level, and men are just like not allowed to go past a certain point.
Plus,
right?
all my lesbian friends always tell me that women are 2 drinks away from being full lesbian anyway. So.
Oh, my husband says the same thing.
See, so we're
But he has welcomed and accepted my sister wives
Gotcha.
into our family because he realizes one woman cannot do everything by herself. And plus, let's keep it real, Shagun. You got a woman, don't you?
I do. We never say her name, unfortunately.
Okay, well, we don't have to.
The A
We don't
word,
have to,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, the A word.
Yeah, she forces me not to.
And that's okay. But her needs are more complicated than your needs.
I'm a complex individual.
Are you?
He's
Well,
pretty
excuse
high
me.
maintenance. I don't know.
Excuse me. I should have
No,
known.
but, okay, I'm
Okay,
following
me,
you, so
follow
I'm
me.
following you right now.
So what I'm saying is most women need the company of another woman to truly fulfill them in ways that men can't. Like, let me give you an example. I called my husband, right? I was like, oh my God, I got to tell you something. He was like, okay, what? So I tell him, it's like a really good story about my girlfriend. She got pregnant when she thought that her husband had a vasectomy. So what does this mean? Blah, 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 right? He sits on the phone like, okay. I said, is that your reaction? He said, yeah, but I'm at work right now. I was like, what? I need a girlfriend. I need to call my girlfriend.
Yes, you
because
do.
you guys can't give us. So every wife needs a wife is more in respect to the fact that women need to support women. Women usually need that womanly kind of connection to really be fulfilled.
But every man feels that way. Every man has torn his hair out and wanted to put his head through a wall when his girlfriend or wife tells them a story that we couldn't care less about, or we're watching a sporting event and you're like, you never guess what happened at work. I don't care what happened at work. The game is on.
Mm-hmm.
If women had, I tell my girlfriend this all the time, you need girlfriends. Don't let her be a skank. Like, I don't want you
Right,
out with
of
the
course.
skanky girl, but if you have a girl that is a confidant, because it's not so much that men can't support women the way women need to be supported. It's just that we don't think in those terms. So it's not even a lack of effort. It's just a lack of understanding what we would say. Because would you like us if you were like, yo, she's pregnant and dude thought he had a vasectomy, and he was like, damn girl, that's messed up. You would look at your husband like, you soft ass baby. What have I got?
That's why I call my gay brother.
Okay.
Because he will be like, damn.
And that's what I'm saying.
Right.
You know, every woman needs a gay best friend.
Yes.
And a girlfriend.
Every woman.
And every straight dude just needs 2 women.
I'm so mad at you right now. But listen, seriously. Having a dad as my right-hand guy, my number one buddy, taught me early on that men are pretty uncomplicated. What did I say in the book, Nora? I said all they need is a remote control, some sex, and some food.
Yeah.
Like, that's about it.
Feed me, fuck me, leave me alone.
I mean,
Pretty much.
essentially.
Pretty much.
That's the gist of it.
Pretty much.
And so my dad laid down these kind of little nuggets of wisdom that I put in the book, but I also apply to my life. And I feel compelled to share those nuggets of wisdom with other women who may not have been fortunate enough to have a black father present raising them.
Okay.
So I was the beneficiary of a lot of that knowledge, and I feel like it has served me in my life as it is right now.
You said that there are a lot of young people that are taking your fitness class. What are the age groups that we're talking about?
The demographic for my class is that I usually get between 18 and 32. That's about the average. But I teach all different kinds of fitness classes. I teach a senior citizens class. So I have 80-year-olds that I work out with. And I get something different from them. I'm the child. They're advising me. And then I go teach another class where they're all 22. So then I'm advising them, you know.
Is it primarily women, or are you finding men coming into class as well?
I have a lot of men in my classes.
Ooh, I need to stop on by.
I wish you would. I wish you would. They would be sure enough happy to see you up in there.
Listen, 25 to life should be written in stone or tattooed on Nora's arm. All 25 chapters. But And I give Nora so much grief about this, and maybe you can help her with this because she needs help.
You hear him?
It seems like there is a lack of honesty between men and women, and that lack of honesty affects everything, the way we interact and how we talk to one another. And I don't think that we ever get really good conversations where we can be truthful, let our guards down, put it all on the table. As a guy, I know that we are typically afraid to do that because we don't want to come across as either too aggressive, or we don't want to come across as one way or the other. So we play our cards a little close to the vest. And it feels like women have always been taught, hey, keep everything covered, keep it close to the vest. You've written a book where it's 52 cards face up.
Face up.
So how do you then, with this type of honesty, deal with a complete stigma where everything has been taught the opposite? Keep it covered. Don't be this honest. Don't share this type of stuff. Real ladies don't talk about their sex life. Real ladies don't have sex lives. That's not spoken about. You're doing this out in the open, and you're doing it, in revealing clothing too, and like, look at me, I'm strong, I'm Superwoman. How are you fighting the opposition of women who've been taught something completely different, and how are you breaking through, encouraging them, those that need to hear it?
Okay, so everyone is not going to love me. Everyone is not going to read this book and be like, I want to tattoo every chapter on my arm, right? Some people are going to read it and be like, she's doing too much, she's telling too much, she did too much, and now I think of her differently. And that's highly possible. In fact, that is actually factual, because I've had people already give me harsh criticism about the book. And let me tell you, what did Big Sean say? I don't give a. Here's the thing.
I was about to say, because I'm not up on my Big Sean.
Oh, you got to get up. You got to get up on your top 40 urban.
Okay.
But here's the
Still
thing.
The
truth is, I can't live for what other people think. That's just. That's stifling.
But you don't feel that in its own way, that's a little bit selfish, because that's me.
Very selfish.
That's me.
Not really, though. It's actually confident, because if you're worrying so much about what the next person thinks of you and your life's journey, you will be constantly living to please the next person. And when I drive around the streets of LA, right, I'm sure I'm pissing someone off. Maybe I didn't let them merge. I don't know. Like, maybe I stopped too quick at the yellow. Behind me, they're giving me the finger. I don't want to piss them off, but I still got to get in the car. I still got to drive to where I got to go. So I'm still confidently moving in the direction that I want to move in. And if I piss people off along the way, it's unintentional, but they're pissed off by my own choices. How you going to be mad at somebody for what they want to do?
Look, there are people watching that are going to be pissed off that this curly-haired, light-skinned chick with the good body, looking all pretty, like she just like, oh, I didn't even dress up today. I just fell out of bed hot. There's going to be people mad at that. Who the hell do you think you are going to tell us and lecture to us about how bad you got it? You married, you got kids, you got a book, you got a great lifestyle. You living in LA, driving your hot minivan and moving from all this kind of stuff and hanging out with cool people.
Yes.
So how bad then is it? Do you really have it?
I don't have it bad at all, Shagun. In fact, I have it really, really good. I have it great. I have a husband with a six-pack who I can't wait to have sex with every night.
I feel so uncomfortable looking at his pictures that you post, by the way.
You feel uncomfortable, but you looking right now.
Well, I look.
I don't look at the pictures because
I can vouch for the six-pack. I've seen it.
Six-pack ain't nothing. I got an 8-pack. I'm worried about all that.
Let me see that. Let me be the judge.
You know what? If I stand up,
I want to see a push-up competition.
If I stand up on camera, I go off camera. If I stand up.
Oh, you are tall. You are tall.
If I stand up, I lose it. But no, but that's the thing. Like,
but what I'm saying is, you asked me, how can they be like, oh, you don't have it bad? No, I don't have it bad, but I had it bad. And let me tell you something. If you've ever had it bad, like, there's a lot of levels to the climate in this country, right? But there's one really obvious level, and that's socioeconomic. And if you've ever had it bad where you're bad down there at the bottom and you've pulled yourself up, people love a good success story, right? So For the most part, I feel like, yes, it is self-indulgent to tell my success story, but I feel like I'm talking to the people who have asked about it. So if you don't want to hear it, and if you don't like it, and if, that's one of the things about being able to control the media you consume. You don't have to follow me on Instagram. You don't have to follow me on YouTube. You don't have to buy my book. But if you want to get the tools to live a healthier life, I wrote down 25 exercises that worked for me to pull myself up from the bottom to where I feel like I have a good life now.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
You know that
you're
one.
up on your Drake, though.
You know that one.
Because I hear that so much. Don't get me started with the whole Drake thing. That's a whole other.
Okay.
But where can people find you? Where can people find you?
I'm heavy on social media. I definitely do the Facebooking, the tweeting, the Instagramming. My book is available on Amazon.com. It's called 25 to Life.
You got to hold up your book.
Bam.
Boom.
25
Freeze
to Life.
frame.
Rocking a swimsuit at 40 years old on the cover. I feel pretty
Looking
proud of
good,
that.
looking
Thank you,
good.
Nora. Thank you.
25 to Life is at Amazon. People can find you on Instagram
at FitWit3. That's FITWIT, the number 3. Get it? Fit with 3 kids.
Look, you see what you did there? See what you did there? This went over your head. So at FitWit3 on Instagram and Twitter.
All of it.
Everything
Fit
is
with 3.
At FitWit3. Is there
She yanked all those handles.
I did yank them.
Is there a website that we need to be finding?
I do have ClaudineCooper.com, but you can just find the book on Amazon. It's easy. Everybody has an Amazon account. You probably have Amazon Prime, don't you?
I do.
I do too.
Free shipping.
And you update on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes.
You accept people
I do.
all the time.
And I'm heavy into, keeping the posts positive and making sure I'm putting some little tidbits about the book and things like that.
What about if we want to work out with you? If we want to look like
we
you,
want to
get
come to
those
one of your
biceps,
classes. We
that
want to come to one of your
and
classes.
see those men's.
Where do we find your classes?
Okay, so I still work at the same gyms that I worked at when I first moved here. When I moved here, I did not know one single soul, and I found LA.
How many years ago was that?
That was 14 years ago, and I found LA to be daunting because when I would just generally be happy and like, hey, like introduce myself to people, they immediately thought I was seeking an opportunity. Now you had the nerve to tell us to turn our ringers off.
No, that was me. That was the ringer to let us know that our 3-minute countdown.
Okay.
We'll edit that out.
Oh, well, but anyway.
We'll edit that out.
But anyways, when I moved here, I didn't know anyone, and I tried to meet people, and they really just kind of like looked at me like, are you selling something? Why are you saying hi to me?
You're
why,
nice. What's going on?
Why are you introducing yourself to me?
Who's nice?
So I got a job at 24 Hour Fitness.
Okay.
And if anybody is moving to LA or moving to a new city, of course I love the gym, but I'm going to encourage people to join a gym because that's one place where everybody is kind of on the same page. We're all there to work out. Nobody's there to, well, I shouldn't say nobody's there to catch, but people, it's mostly like a healthy environment. So I met a lot of good friends and good people, and, I teach classes at 24 Hour Fitness on Slauson, so I'm still in my same hood. Yeah, I'm still in the hood.
Up to no good.
What classes do you teach?
I teach Nike Training Club, hence
Okay.
Nike, head to toe Nike. And I also teach water fitness, weight training. I mean, everything you can pretty much imagine.
I got to get you in my spin class.
In 20 years, I've pretty much taught a little bit of everything. Okay. Yeah.
I teach spin for 24 Hour Fitness. That's one of
Which
my.
one?
I'm actually
Hollywood?
North Hollywood.
North Hollywood.
I'm in here at North Hollywood, and I teach at the Sweatshop in North Hollywood.
I would love to come to one of your classes.
You got to. Sweatshop is heated spin, so like Bikram yoga, but we raise the temperature in the room. So.
And I eat Krispy Kreme.
Dripping wet.
I'm so inspired by
This girl said I eat Krispy Kreme. You see her?
Krispy Kreme.
I'm gonna let the world know that you shouldn't be telling them that you eat Krispy Kreme looking like that. Okay.
Before we let you go and play our wonderful outro music that we're so happy about today, leave our viewers and our listeners with something that they can, a tidbit of something of the Fit with 3. Give them some type of tasty little quote they can take with them that's going to help them.
The first chapter of the book, the exercise is be decisive. Whatever you want in life. I mean, I of course am talking about fitness. I'm talking about good health because that's my expertise. But whether it's a degree, I know you successfully are finishing up your master's, right, Nora?
I'm almost there.
Well, whatever it is, a degree, an aspiring actor, whatever the thing is.
Whatever you do. Be
decisive and then take the necessary steps to get to that goal.
Amen.
Amen to that. Claudine, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We are going to make sure that you can find Claudine Cooper at FitWit3. Her book, 25 to Life, is on Amazon. Make sure you find it, read it. It's going to change your life. I feel like a better person. I feel 10 years younger, which makes me right around 17 years old. So Wired In with Shagun, Nora, Claudine Cooper. I'm surrounded by hot women.
Thank you for
everywhere
having me.
go.
I really appreciate it.
We're good to go.
Bum, bum, bum. Turn up. In the studio with Shagun. Here we are. Hot mama. There she is.
Oh, you
Well,
gonna freestyle, Nora? You gonna freestyle, Nora? Come on, Nora. Spit those hot lyrics.